Is there still a chance for a romantic future between Simon and Claire?
I don't think that's ever off the table. I think Claire and Simon both love each other. They're best friends, and there's something about the familiarity and the trust that they have in one another that definitely creates, that leaves that opportunity always kind of floating around.
Would you think it's possible that the show won't necessarily follow the trajectory of the books?
Well, I know that the books laid out this beautiful world. You know, Cassandra Clare gave us 6 books of the Shadow World, and then she has like Infernal Devices, and all these other books that kind of feed into this world. But the beauty about this TV show is we get to explore it in a new way, telling the same story, but with different things every once in a while, gifts for people that have read the books. They'll see a few things, be like, oh, that's because in the books, this is it. So we really get to go a little deeper than the books sometimes.
So in the books, Simon went through quite an evolution. Is that something that you would like to see happen on the series?
Absolutely, because I feel like one of the beauties of Simon is he represents the rest of the mundane world. So he represents all of the fans that are going to be watching the show. And I think the reason they feel for him is because he is a mundane. He is one of them, kind of dragged into this world and then taken through this huge journey, like huge roller coaster he's going to go through. And I really would love to see that, if anything, for the fans to kind of experience the roller coaster at the same time.
Is there a certain evolution of the character that you would personally like to see?
Yeah, I would. Because one thing that happens to Simon is he becomes confident within himself, meaning he gets to a point where he understands that he is, maybe he's not a Shadowhunter, but Simon is just as important as everyone else is. And I think that's something I really want to see happen.
Well, speaking of Simon's confidence, can you talk about his interactions with Isabel?
As of right now?
Sure. As of this point in the series, you're filming.
Well, I mean, and we're starting from the beginning. So this is Simon at his first couple days in the Shadow World, where everything's new and he's intimidated and not confident. So to see this Isabel, who's like the sexy woman, strong and powerful, kind of immediately both turns on Simon, but really intimidates him. So he has those interactions with her when he's alone with her, where he can't really make words. He knows what they are up here, but his mouth just wow. He's really out of his league.
If Clary were to ever think that Jace might be her sibling, do you think that would be a chance for Simon to move in?
I think from Simon's point of view, Jace is a distraction. Simon doesn't know Jace, so he doesn't trust him. And if Jace is ever off the table, Simon always thinks he's next in line. Even if it wasn't Jace, if it was another guy, Simon thinks he's next in line, regardless.
How does it feel to be a part of such a big franchise?
At first, it was... overwhelming is not the right word, because I mean overwhelming in the sense that there's such an outpouring of support and love, and everyone's so excited for the show to come out, and every script to read is like a new opportunity to kind of see what's happening next, and it's not overwhelming, it's super exciting, and it's super fantastic to have a world like this and to be lucky enough to be a part of it and to go through this journey in this amazing world. It's going to be amazing.
What has been the most surprising experience, or something you didn't expect to experience in shooting the first season?
I didn't expect... What didn't I expect? I didn't expect a lot. I kind of came into this with a very open mindset, not knowing what to expect, not knowing how interacting with the rest of the cast would be, not knowing what working on a set like this 5 days a week was going to be like. And I'm constantly pleasantly surprised.
What was your initial reaction to Simon's van?
Loved it. It was actually exactly how I imagined it. And then they took that, all the band names written on it, and it looks... I was so happy with it. I named it, but I'm keeping that to myself. It's my personal.
And have you taken it for any?
I did get to drive it for a little bit, but that was because we were shooting with it, so I had to drive it from like point A to point B. And yeah, I really want to take it for a road trip, so maybe production might let me, but I doubt it.
Who's the funniest person on set?
I think one of the cool things, we all have our own sense of humor, and they get highlighted at different times. So after midnight, Matt Daddario kind of is hilarious because he's a little more silly. But other than that, we all kind of have our moments where we all kind of make everyone cry laughing.
And does Simon have any interaction with Magnus Bane?
The only interaction he has is being with the Shadowhunters. So Magnus kind of just, oh, there's a mundane here, why is he here? Oh, he's with you guys, all right, whatever. about as far as that goes.
And do the Lightwoods look down on Simon at all because he's a mundane?
I think all Shadowhunters look down on Simon because he's a mundane, because he's part of a world that lives in complete ignorance to the shadow world around him. So they see him as someone that's like, it's right in front of you, but you guys just don't see it. So pretty much anyone a part of the shadow world, they look down on mundanes.
And being from Florida, was it hard to get used to shooting all the way up in Toronto?
Luckily, we're shooting in the summer, because if it was the winter, I don't think you'd see me. I'd be inside and I'd be in 6 coats. But no, Toronto's been such a beautiful city. We've had great weather. We've gotten really lucky with that. And I've actually kind of fallen in love with here. It feels kind of like home now. It's kind of cool.
Okay, and why do you think fans are going to be excited to see Shadowhunters when it premieres on ABC Family?
I think they're going to be excited because they're going to see this amazingly intricate world, and that coexists with our world. And we do so many things. We go through so much together. I mean, the relationships in the show change constantly. And to see people growing and changing and going through things and having to fight for things they care about is something that is extremely interesting. So I think the fans are just going to fall in love, just like we all have.